We're live. Welcome back, guys. As you guys know, Johnny Smiley's trial was today, at least in South Korea time. Or technically, it's today in U.S. time because it's 2 in the morning here in Eastern time. But it was today in South Korea, and South Korea is in the future. So things happened. And if you don't know, obviously, you know, Johnny Smiley, he's the guy who first went to Japan, got in a whole bunch of trouble, fled Japan, went to Thailand, continued making trouble there, and then decided to go back to Japan. That was a bad mistake. And of course, you know, we all saw he got arrested and so on. He spent 3 months in jail in Japan. Promised the judge he was never going to act out like this. He was going to quit streaming. He was going to go back to university and just focus on being a good student. But no, that didn't last for too long because he then started the whole South Korea arc. And as you guys know, we've been covering this South Korean arc of his quite extensively here on this channel. And that has led us to where we are today. More than what? He started this arc in South Korea in like 2024, I think. Yes, 2024 is when this whole South Korea arc for him started. And now we're at what? We're in 2026. And he just had his first appeal trial. So today we're joined by Gabe once again, aka Culture Brat, and he was actually here. He was at the trial, and he's going to let us know exactly what happened at the trial. What's up, dude? How you doing, Gabe?
Hey, good. How you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for taking your time once again to come on the channel.
For sure.
How was the trial today? What was different from the normal stuff?
It was very quick. It was very rapid pace. Excellent interpreter, and she also spoke very fast. And there were none of those pauses. You know, those quiet lulls that would happen in the court sometimes.
Yeah.
Remember that? So there was none of that. It was super quick. 7 minutes total. Very compact. Both sides presented their arguments, Johnny for leniency and the prosecution for a higher sentence. And they presented those arguments. Johnny made his another final statement, and the judge announced the date of the verdict. So this went way faster than we expected. Like today went way faster, and the trials went way faster because it's going to end on the 25th, whereas we expected this to go past the 6 months.
Yeah, that is crazy to me that it's all over in what 2 weeks. Would you say what do you think that leans, or do you think it being a very fast trial means that it's going to lean any way for the sentencing for him? Will it be a harsher or lighter sentencing due to how short the trial is? What are your thoughts there?
Regarding the sentencing, I don't think it means anything, but what it does mean is that the judges, first of all, look at this case as being very simple, very clear cut. Like the answer is not in serious dispute, even though you have two sides, right? That are claiming different things, and the most obvious disagreement is the prosecution claims that he benefited financially from his crimes, whereas he claims that he didn't. Right. So you have that dispute. But what this means is that the judges, first of all, look at this case and they say, this is not in dispute for us. So that means they already have an opinion. And what that means is that there's evidence one way or the other.
Interesting. So is there a different judge now than what it used to be?
Yes, of course. And it's a panel of 3 judges. And you never have the same judge at an appeal, because why would they overturn their own decision, right?
Right, that makes sense.
So we have Bon, what's his name?
Is it the same type of courtroom, or is it a larger courtroom?
It's the exact same courtroom.
Really? Okay, so you just have 3 judges up on the panel instead.
Exactly. So you might have noticed that even though there is only 1 judge, there are 3 chairs up there. And that's for the appeal trials. And so the presiding judge is Ban Jang-woo, who is from Daegu, by the way. And Daegu people, I used to live in Daegu. Daegu people you don't mess with them.
Interesting.
So he's sort of a middle-aged guy, and there are 2 younger judges to his left and his right, a woman and a male judge.
Interesting. And the prosecutor here, they just like went up and said one sentence, which is essentially the defendant committed the crime on multiple counts in pursuit of financial profit, which the victims were not compensated for. Therefore, this appeal is filed on the grounds of unfair sentence, and the prosecution requests that the court dismiss the appeal by the defendant and impose the same sentence as requested in the first trial by the prosecution, which is 3 years. That's essentially what the prosecutor's side is here.
That's word for word what the prosecutor said. Obviously, they could have said a lot more. There's a lot you can say. You could talk about the fact that the travel ban argument is not a mitigating factor, things like that. But I think this is actually excellent because what they're saying is these are not individual crimes in a vacuum. They might be not so serious on their own, but as a whole, as it counts as a habitual crime, which is much more punishable. So this was part of a spree, and then more aggravating than that is that he did it for financial gain. So those are two. Excellent. If I had to pick the first two, those are the first two I would pick. And then the third one is there has been no victim recovery or no victim restitution of any kind. So he made all this money, but he has not used any of it to make any sort of settlement,
restitution or settlement.
Yeah.
Interesting. So
that's a 3-point argument, and you could add more, but I think that this prosecutor nailed the top 3.
Interesting. See, I was expecting there to be like new witnesses brought up and then essentially a whole new trial being ran in front of the 3 new judges. But I guess they're not going for that.
I was too, and I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this about that. I expected that too because I've seen cases with similar complexity.
Right.
And they tend to, and in fact, I saw one that lasted over a year, an appeal trial that lasted over a year, with similar complexity. And so that's why I expected to see this. But I'll tell you what, the case that I'm talking about that lasted a very long time and had witnesses, the defendant won.
Really?
So what that meant is that they were taking seriously the defendant's side and they wanted to see all the evidence. So this means that the judges are already leaning one way or the other. It means they have sufficient evidence. They don't need to see more. I remember in court when when one of the 3 judges kept saying, "We need to hear from this witness. We need to hear from this witness," and the witness, kept doing no-shows, but she really wanted to hear from this witness before making a decision. These judges don't feel they need to see more before making their decision, and neither side has protested that. Either side can protest that, and the prosecution did not protest that. They did not say, "No, we insist on witnesses." So this means that the prosecution is satisfied with the state of things and what they've submitted, and if they wanted to call witnesses, they could.
Right. That is interesting.
And
also
it doesn't mean that they're slacking, but
that's also an interesting take.
Yeah.
But this time, is Johnny being represented by the same attorney that we've seen him the whole time, or who's he being represented by now? He's on a public defender.
Right.
And how did he show up to court?
So they brought him in through the side door like they do other defendants, which you've seen happen, where they come out in their uniforms. He came out wearing a suit with a button-up shirt, no tie, and an inmate identification tag.
Interesting.
Like right here, and it was yellow, which is also very interesting because the colors of the tags mean something. Like blue is drug crimes. There's a certain color for severe sex crimes. There's a color for death row. White is the standard, but he got yellow, which basically means look out for this guy because he might cause trouble.
Interesting. So he's been labeled as a troublemaker in the detention center?
Right.
And he's currently living in the detention center right now?
Right.
And how do you think that is for him right now?
I mean, I don't imagine anybody likes being in prison, right? I mean, it's a humane situation, but you don't have control over your life.
Right.
Or your daily schedule, anything like that. It's the same 5 or 6 people in the same room all day, every day. and that gets old real fast. When a new person comes, great, there's new conversations, but there's only so much to talk about. That's why he's writing all these letters asking people to send him books, and asking he wants people to send him letters, which I highly discourage anybody from doing. He wants haters. He wants his haters and critics to send letters, which is a very bad idea.
Interesting.
So he's bored out of his mind. He's deprived of social media. I think that might be the worst part for him. If he at least had his smartphone and his laptop, I think he'd be happy, right? Yeah. I think for him that's probably the worst part. But yeah, go to bed 9 p.m., 6:30 a.m., wake up every day. Every day you wake up to the exact same song.
Oh Lord.
You have to hear the exact. It's like in Squid Game. They play the same music at wake up every day.
Is it true that he has to sleep beside the toilet, or is that just like a myth?
That is true. More so at Seoul Detention Center as opposed to Nambu Detention Center. But at this point, he's been there for a while, and he's not. He may or may not be the new guy anymore. But
interesting.
But he could still be the new guy. But the new guy sleeps next to the toilet.
Wow. Yeah, don't go to South Korea and commit crimes. Just don't commit crimes in general. That's like the big takeaway from all this, especially not for social media clout, because clearly it is just not worth it. But here, you sent me a whole page of, I guess, what happened post-sentencing. So I can't pull it up on stream right now, but I can read out everything that's here. So you have victim Lee request for a copy of ruling. Who's that?
That's Youngman.
Okay, so Youngman, why would he want a copy of the ruling?
That means he's still interested in the case. And when it says victim Lee, that means his lawyer. That means his lawyer is still engaging with the case.
Okay, and because he's currently behind bars, right? So he actually doesn't have access. Interesting, okay. And then convict's private lawyer request for copy of ruling. So
that would be, that would be the previous lawyer that withdrew.
Okay. And then you have Johnny creating 3 drawings while detained.
Yeah, so he drew 3 pictures. One of them was sort of glorifying North Korea. I'll just summarize these really quick. One of them was sort of glorifying North Korea. Another one was sort of glorifying himself and showing him with or showing a figure. I'm not going to say him, but showing a figure holding a bag of 2 fish and a bottle of baby oil. And
so why would he be drawing this in jail when he's in a detention center waiting for a retrial and he's doing this still?
Yep. So he's saying one thing in court and then he's drawing other things in his drawings. Yeah.
And the new judges have access to this, right? They can see this, right?
Someone would need to submit it in order for that to happen.
Really? Okay. Wait, why would they? That's interesting. Then you have on the 20th of April, victim Kim submission for request of severe punishment.
That would be Bong Bong.
That's okay. So Bong Bong actually submitted a request for severe punishment on this retrial.
Yes.
And then on the 20th of April, the same day, Johnny submits a notice for appeal. Yes, and the prosecutor also appeals it the next day.
Right.
Interesting. And then now we're in May. And he lists the 3 drawings for sale for what, $7 each?
There's a website called Bunjang. It's a Korean website. It's similar to eBay. You can put items on auction or sale there. And these 3 drawings suddenly appeared there. And then what was it? 2 days later, they were removed by the website. And I have some inside information that it was for the North Korea picture, which potentially violates the National Security Act.
Again, why would you ever do this when you're already in detention during a retrial? And you're saying one thing in court and you're clearly doing everything different with your actions. But okay, interesting. And then he has a 1-page letter leak, which is that where he was asking for books and so on?
Yes, that's where he was asking for books and talking about the stock market.
Okay, yeah, he wants to learn to trade stocks or something like that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Then you have Bungjang removes sales of 3 drawings. Okay, so they actually they removed it because of a report for violation of the National Security Act.
Right. They like this item is illegal. Like basically that's what
Wow.
like somebody reported and they selected the category, this item is illegal.
Interesting. And then he writes a 5-page letter.
Yes, the 5-page letter, which is all over the place. And this one is begging for screenshots of social media. And he wants to know what you're saying. He wants to know what Legal Mindset's saying. He wants to know what Twitter's saying. And he's just begging for screenshots. So that's how internet deprived he is.
Interesting. Then you have victim Cho, submission of request for severe punishment. Who is Cho?
We don't know. This is an unknown victim. So this is somebody who's pissed and unhappy with the sentencing and wants a higher sentence.
Okay.
So this could be just, you know, look at the list of crimes. It could be anybody. It could be 7-Eleven. It could be Lotte World.
Yeah. Interesting. It could be someone on the bus from the fish incident.
Yes.
There's
exactly.
like a whole plethora of stuff. Then you have, okay, then convict assignment of public defender. So he received a public defender. So I guess his original attorney requested for documents, but then withdrew because I guess he wasn't getting paid anymore, most likely, or
that's normal for a lawyer to be curious about the
outcome,
verdict and sentencing. Yeah, the outcome. Since this is a new trial, he did not need to officially withdraw, but they do have to register a lawyer. So if he was continuing, he would re-register, but obviously he did not. So Johnny Somali was assigned a public defender.
Interesting. And then, yeah, the first hearing was set for June 11th, which was today.
Right.
Then on the 18th, 5-page letter leaks. Okay. Oh, okay. So that's the letter. That's when it leaked. Okay.
Yes. So these letters are obviously meant to leak. He's basically begging for attention and, you know, making statements. He does, you know, express some remorse, but obviously it's very insincere.
Yeah.
He tries to make it sound like things are not so bad, that it's like a summer camp, but that's obviously not true.
Right. And then he submits.
He said it's like staying in a hotel, except without a laptop and a phone. That sounds pretty bad.
Right.
Even if it's a nice hotel, especially for him.
Yeah, but isn't it still like he's like stuck between 4 concrete walls, and he probably has like what, like a little, like is it a tatami mat or whatever they're called that he sleeps on?
Yeah, if at all. There's a TV in the room, but Korean TV is, you know,
probably boring for him. He can't really understand too much of it.
And yeah, exactly. And you're gonna be, after a while, you're just watching the same thing over and over again.
Right.
You know, limited number of channels, all Korean.
And then, yeah, his other page leaked. And then, okay, so yeah, in between there, he submitted what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters of reflection.
5
after letters. 5 apology letters after he's drawn the North Korea stuff and after he's drawn the fish stuff and clearly isn't too apologetic. And then we have the hearing. So, yeah, now we're kind of caught up to date. This will definitely be interesting to see what happens. So on the 25th, we'll find out. Wow, I'm kind of shocked that it went this fast, but I guess we'll see what happens to Johnny Somali in the saga. But regardless, thank you so much, Gabe, and AKA Culture Brat. I will link him in the comments down below. For hopping on this channel and giving us all of this information. And other than that, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video or stream, because this was a stream.